Let's talk about Trey Lance. So, in the preseason, more often than not, people are going to blame the quarterback. And I mean, that goes for the regular season as well. But it's football, there are 11 players on the field. And when other players mess up, if you're the quarterback, a lot of times you're going to take the blame. So, if we just watch this first play, it seems like throw the ball, it's on the quarterback. How you can't get sacked in the quick game on a 3-step drop. But watch the play overall. So you have to give credit to the defense. Trey goes to the right side. So when you're looking on this 3-step drop quick game, there's no hang defender over here. And by hang defender, I mean usually the slot, the nickel player. So he goes to the right side, but, and Kyle Shanahan said as much too, the corner reads that the quarterback takes a 3-step drop, so he doesn't go anywhere. So Trey's thinking immediately, I have off coverage, so I'm going to throw this quick curl right here. Unfortunately, can't do it because corner reads it. So I think he does a really good job of going through his progressions. Unfortunately, you have two receivers in the same area. That clouds this throw right here. Can't go there. By that time, when you take a 3-step drop, it's a sack. And Kyle Shanahan acknowledged that as much as well. He said, we had one of our eligibles bust on the play. So Trey did a good job of protecting the ball, and he had to take a sack there. So not much that he could do right there. So again, it seems like it's on the quarterback in this round, but the defense, the corner made a good play, took away the first read, and running back runs an option route right into the second option. So you could say, why doesn't Trey go to this wide side right here? Why doesn't he go here? But you're not going to go from boom to boom to boom. You're going to go 1, 2, and then you're not going to have time for 3. So first play, not great, but I wouldn't put that on the quarterback. So one thing Shanahan did say that Trey did need to improve on is just letting the ball rip. And you can kind of see that on this play. So they're going to run a concept where it's a read route. The wide receiver is going to run about 15 to 20 yards and settle down in the soft spot of the zone. As you can see, as soon as Trey's back foot hits right now, like he's open, right? His back is turned. He has no idea where the ball is going to be. You can make a window, right? Throw him open, whether it's so the corner's coming on this. You can throw it here. You can throw it outside, but let him rip. I think Trey comes off that first read too quickly. It's like, sure, they get, 5, 6, 7 yards or whatever, but that ball's got to go here. And it's preseason. This is where you do let it rip, where you do just test it out those throws. So I would say, if anything, the completion, where most people wouldn't fault Trey, like I would want him to go to that second level, which he usually does. And you can kind of see it from this angle where he does a good job, at least of, the back foot hits, the ball should come out. Let it rip. Good timing. It's not there. He goes initially to his check down, but let's get to that first read and let it fly. All right, third down. And so I asked Kyle Shanahan about this one because to me, it looks like Ross Dwelly's wrong here, but Trey's wrong too. So let's just watch it play itself out. Because it looks like, boom, he's open. Throw it. It's 3rd and 6. So it's an option route for Dwelly. So he's going to come up to the sticks, and it's a literal stick route, and he's just going to curl up, right? He doesn't need to drift and get wider because the corner's squatting. So if Ross Dwelly just stops right there, boom, and turns around, ball's coming out, he's ready to throw. I think this is great. We're talking about letting it rip, getting the ball out quickly. Trey does a great job, but Dwelly doesn't curl up and he keeps drifting. I think that throws Trey off. And what Kyle said right there is, like, he wanted to see Trey make that throw, and he still should make that throw. Maybe you're throwing it to the inside shoulder because you have the cornerback curled up like that or squatting, so maybe the ball goes on the inside, but for whatever reason, Trey doesn't let it rip because Dwelly's still drifting. Kyle said Dwelly didn't make it easy on Trey, but he still wants to see Trey make that throw, and I agree there. So that's on both players right there. But either way, 3rd and 6, you have to punt the ball when, you had a receiver open, and that's a throw that Trey is going to have to make if he is going to be a starter in this league. All right, 3rd and 6 on the next series. Again, this is an incomplete pass. 6-man pressure, so the Raiders are going to bring 6. The 49ers have 6 people blocking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the running back, Ty Davis-Price, who actually does a really nice job here of picking up the blitzing linebacker. Just watch the running back. Boom, cuts him. He does his job right there. So Trey is looking to the left. Again, you're going to go away from the nickel side because that's where you're going to have 2-on-2 and no underneath help. So he's going to the right side. That is a good sign. the underneath throw isn't there. So Willie Snead does not separate. So he does a good job of getting to a second read right away. Also, as you can see, avoids a sack. So going to the right spot, getting his eyes in the right spot, going through his progressions, avoiding a sack. It looks like an errant throw, but if you watch Charlie Warner here, just watch him hesitate here. So it's man coverage. He settles down right there, and Trey's trying to throw him away from the defender. When you're in man coverage, you're going to run away from the defender. You settling down and stopping right there, I mean, I don't know if he would have been able to get the catch, but it would have been a lot closer. So you can say it's an inaccurate pass. I wouldn't disagree, but I don't think Charlie Warner did him any favors there. So again, this is where it just comes like everything has to be perfect, and this is why these guys are backups right now, whether it's Lance, whether it's Warner, because the consistency just isn't there. And you saw as the game went along, Trey started to play a little bit faster. I think he does a good job in the pocket right here, not panicking. There's bodies all around him. His eyes do not drop, because a lot of young quarterbacks, when this is the case, look, he has a guy right here at his feet. He has a guy barreling down his throat. His eyes don't drop. Does a good job of stepping up in the pocket, but the throw is a little wide, obviously because there's somebody in his face. But would have liked to see Warner keep running through that, and maybe they had a better shot at connecting there and staying on the field. But watch Ty Davis-Price here in the backfield. I really like that. Good job of cutting the linebacker there. All right, next series. So we're still seeing Lance be hesitant. We're still seeing him not pull the trigger like you'd want him to. So back foot hits, throw him open. There's no chance this guy has to make the play. I think Lance comes off his number one target way too quickly here. So look, he's already off him. If you're not confident that you can make this in the first throwing window here, the second window is wide open. Look at the gap between these two defenders, and honestly, look at the gap between these two defenders. So first window's open, second window's probably open. We have to settle for an underneath throw, and he airmails that. So that is where you want to see Lance improve. Pull the trigger, let it fly. And I think that's going to be something that he has to work on in this next preseason game. That's something that you want to see him be more aggressive in this next game. So you can watch his eyes a lot better from here. Boom. For whatever reason, he comes off it. And I don't think there's any reason to. So again, when their backs are to you, he has no idea where you're going to throw the ball. You could throw it inside of him. You could wait because, look, he's running at this type of angle. The wide receiver's running flat down the line. You could throw it over here, and he'd have no idea. So I'd like to see Trey hang on to this first read, make that throw, and Conley's probably still running. I just want to show this play because this is a positive play. Trey Lance, you got a free runner, and that should be a sack, right? You should be tackled at the 5-yard line, and it's 3rd and 20 now. But instead, he avoids 1. He's able to outrun 2. And now you get a 3 or 4 yard gain as opposed to a sack. But it's all on the left guard here. I believe it's Jason Poe. Yeah, so you see him audible to a play. And this should be easy, right? Everybody's blocking down. He's going to come across, but there's no way you should let him run free. Thankfully, quarterback is athletic enough, makes him miss, and is able to turn what would be a negative into a positive. That is a very good play. And this is just a hat tip to Shanahan and some of the designs that he's able to come up with. So, unfortunately, we're not able to see the result, but you can see the process, and you can see what this would look like with the starters on the field. This is probably Brandon Ayuk. This is probably Juwan Jennings. Maybe this is Deebo Samuel or in some sort of combination. And then you have George Kittle to the backside. So this is a levels concept. Number 1's going to run a return route. He's going to go up and out. This is going to be a slot fade. And then the number 3 wide receiver is going to act like he's going in, only to come out. So you have a first level threat. This is the 3rd level. And this is the 2nd level. Watch how wide open Conley, who's the number 3 receiver, is, because he's occupied by quote unquote George Kittle. He's wide open. Unfortunately, by the time the quarterback's back foot hit, he already has pressure in his face, so we're not able to see that. So it would have looked good for Lance to be able to throw this wide open guy, but he's already having to shuffle. Somebody's in his face, and they even get a holding call. It was a rough outing for Nick Zakelj at right guard. All right, here we go. Next series, they're running a stick concept, so he is going to run off. This wide receiver is going to run out, and this tight end is going to curl up or run out. He has an option route. Fortunately, this is the first read all the time. But we don't have any kind of athleticism here. Look, the linebacker is basically jumping the route, so nowhere to go here for Lance. He does a good job of keeping his eyes down the field as he scrambles, and they're able to turn that into a first down. So another positive play where he has to use his athleticism, react on the fly, and create out of structure. So create when the initial play breaks down and is it there. So another positive play for Lance. I think this is probably pretty encouraging for the coaching staff. It's tough to evaluate knowing that, the offensive line is full of backups and you don't have Kittle. You don't have the starters to throw to, but good improvisation right there from Lance. All right, let's walk through this near interception. Should have been an interception that somehow ended up with a touchdown. Trey, after the game, said this is one of those no, yes plays. So as he pulls up, look, he looks wide open. Like from our point of view, the defender's not even in the picture. So he's going to come in the picture right there. But, I mean, look at his feet. Look where his shoulders are. He has to flip his hips all the way around. In an ideal world, the ball ends up right here, and he is probably going to defend it or at least make the throw contested. But because it's behind, because of how he had to go, that backside safety is able to go. Kyle Shanahan actually said he was proud of Trey just for letting it rip, for trying these. And that's what the preseason is about, for taking chances like this. Obviously, this is it looks like a terrible decision. It should have been an interception. The Raiders can't let this happen. But when you look at it from this angle, as soon as, we pause it right there, you can understand why Trey makes this throw. All right, this is one of those slow developing play action plays that the 49ers feast on. So they set the defense up. This is a sack. And to me, this is on Trey, even with a free runner. So let's watch it play itself out. See how long he has to take. And now let's watch it rewind it here. So Matt Pryor, we'll look at it from the end zone. He's the right guard. He ends up blocking. Nobody gets kind of caught in no man's land, and the defender gets a free run. But if you're Trey, and how they're reading the single high safety. So if he bails, we're going to throw this dig route, this in-breaking route. If he dives on that, we're going to go up top to Conley. So let's watch the safety. Safety's out of there, right? Safety's turning and running. Throw the ball. Let it rip. Let it fly. This shouldn't be a sack. He should be able to climb right there. His eyes need to be moving toward this wide receiver because the safety gave us the read, and instead it's a sack. So that's where that hesitancy and, not consistently going to where your eyes need to be kind of bites Trey in the butt here. All right, so the last couple of plays, I thought Trey actually played really well. Here he is, pressure in his face, keeping the play alive. So again, instead of a sack, it turns into a 5-yard gain. Like, these little plays do matter. All right, very next play, actually get a clean pocket, which did not happen very often. Back foot hits, you get a hitch, and you let it fly to Conley, and they get a 17-yard gain there. So good play. That's how this offense should look. 2-minute drill, another dropped interception. So remember, the whole time I'm saying go away from where the nickel is. Go away from the apex defender, and you will usually be right. He does not do that this time. And this is the first time he didn't do that, and sure enough, he should have paid for it. But look, if he does everything he just did, and he's staring down the middle of the field, or he's holding the defense to his left, this backer's doing that, and then he can come back to Ronnie Bell, who, look, the defenders, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So he has to account for him, which means he's going to be wide open, and you're holding the linebacker, which means he's going to get caught in no man's land. And that's where you want Trey to be consistent with these reads. Instead, near interception. Another encouraging sign is as the 2-minute drill went along, so this is, I think, the next play or 2 plays later, he doesn't let that fluster him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back foot hits, takes another gather step to step up in the pocket, and look, it's out. He's throwing the ball before, like as the receiver's coming out of the break. Look, he's winding up and throwing the ball. He's just now getting his head around, throws Conley open, and leaves it before the safety so he doesn't get drilled. That's a really nice play. Good throw, and a nice chunk play for the offense. So Trey was starting to get into a rhythm. He was starting to play with more urgency. Watch again. Watch his back foot hit. Boom, ball's coming out right now. Receiver's still turning around, but he's playing with more urgency. Ball's coming out, and that's what I want to see next week in Denver. I want to see Trey be more consistent. I want to see him push the ball down the field because that's where he excels, and just let it fly. Let it rip. Don't be hesitant, and that's what's going to, earn him